in the very beginning, you're only fast dancing. You go out and dazzle them with your footwork.
We all have masks. We all try to find the special things inside of us.
Most people know Danny DeVito, the actor, but very few know real man behind the name. For decades, he has been one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, building a career filled with iconic roles, unforgettable performances, and a personality audiences can't help but love. But away from the spotlight, his life at 81 looks very different from what most fans imagine. What does Danny DeVito's life really look like today? And why is the story behind the fame far more complicated than people realize? Join us as we uncover the real life of Danny DeVito at 81, the man behind the character. There is a version of Danny DeVito that the public has been watching for 5 decades, and it is genuinely wonderful. Louis De Palma on Taxi, snarling and scheming from his wire cage above the garage floor. The Penguin in Batman Returns, grotesque and weirdly sympathetic all at once. The voice and energy of Frank Reynolds on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, still going, still generating the kind of comedy that requires no safety net. The villain, the anti-hero, the character actor who turned physical limitations into the most recognizable and beloved screen presence of his generation. Danny DeVito was born in Neptune, New Jersey, and grew up with an understanding that the path available to him in the entertainment industry was going to require a different approach from what was available to taller, more conventionally attractive performers. At 4 feet 10 inches, he was not going to play romantic leads or action heroes. He was going to have to be better than everyone else at the qualities he did have. The comic timing, the physical expressiveness, the ability to make an audience simultaneously laugh at a character and feel something real for them. He trained at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, developing the technical foundation for a career that would run across film, television, and theater over the next 6 decades. He also attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and in 1970 went to an acting class in New York, not because he wanted to take the class, but because a mutual friend had revealed that Rhea Perlman was going to be there. He walked into that room, saw her, and immediately made up his mind that he was going to marry her after knowing her for approximately 3 minutes. They started dating, moved in, and stayed together for 11 years before any legal ceremony. They were a couple building careers alongside each other in the way that 2 people who share an ambition and a sensibility build things together when they are young and have nothing except each other and the work. That foundation, 11 years of shared life before the wedding, is the reason that what happened later when the marriage formally ended was never as simple as an ending. They got married on January 28, 1982, after Rhea had appeared on Taxi, the show that had made Danny a recognizable television name. They then had 3 children together. Lucy arrived in 1983, Grace in 1985, and Jacob in 1986. 3 children in 4 years, building the family that would become the organizing structure of everything else for the rest of both their lives, regardless of what happened between them. The public Danny DeVito that most people know is the one on screen. The private Danny DeVito that exists in a house in Los Angeles at 81, living alone, calling Rhea every day from a separate address 15 minutes away, eating dinner at 5 o'clock because the grandchildren have schedules, is the one that most people have never been allowed to see clearly. So what does that life actually look like now that he is 81? And why does the word sad come so naturally to people who hear the details of it? The kind of alone that nobody plans for. In October 2012, after 30 years of marriage, Danny and Rhea announced their separation. They had 3 children in their late 20s and had built one of the most professionally successful and publicly admired partnerships in Hollywood history. they had made Matilda together, which remains one of the most beloved children's films of the 1990s, and which carries the warmth of two people who understood family from the inside, making art about it. The separation announcement landed on the public like something that was not supposed to be possible. Danny responded to the initial separation with a revealing description. He told the media at the time that he considered himself still together with Rhea, separate but together. Those were the words of a 67-year-old man who had spent 42 years in the orbit of one person and who could not find the vocabulary to describe a life that did not include her in the same house. They reconciled in March 2013. It lasted 4 years. In March 2017, they separated again. This time, no reconciliation announcement followed. The separation became the permanent arrangement, which turned out to be more complicated than the word permanent usually suggests. They did not divorce. They have not filed for divorce. As of 2025, they remain legally married after more than 8 years of living separately. The legal structure of the marriage persists, while the daily reality of the marriage is two people in two separate houses, 15 minutes apart, talking on the phone every day, seeing each other at family events, sharing grandchildren, and finding in each other a friendship that the marriage itself, toward its end, had apparently been unable to contain. Rhea spoke about it openly on Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Wiser Than Me podcast in 2023. She said she was not going to sugarcoat it, that it had been very difficult at first, that there had been many reasons for the separation she was not going to go into, and that it had taken time to arrive at the understanding they now had with each other. She also said something that sits alongside everything else, as the most quietly heartbreaking detail of the whole situation. She said she lives alone with her little dog, who is her partner in life now. She said she does not like living alone, but she likes being alone. The distinction she drew between those two things, between the preference for solitude and the discomfort with its permanent version, is one that resonates in a specific and painful way. When Rhea was asked on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen in 2019 about the state of things between her and Danny, she said it was actually much better than during the final years of the marriage, that all the tense stuff was gone. That is an honest thing to say, and it is also a melancholy thing to say. The tense stuff being gone means the tense stuff was there. The marriage that the world was watching and admiring contained something underneath it that needed to be removed before the relationship could become what it actually was capable of being. At 81, Danny DeVito lives in that outcome. He lives in the version that came after the tense stuff was removed. He talks to Rhea every day. He sees her at Lucy's birthday parties and at the grandchildren's family dinners. He is not estranged from her. He is deeply connected to her. He is just not in the same house. And there is a kind of loneliness in that, a kind of ache in being the person who still loves the person from 50 years ago, who is 15 minutes away and is your best friend and is not coming home. What has Danny DeVito revealed about the possibilities of getting back together, and what does he actually live for? Decades of dynamics. The saddest stories are not always the ones where nothing remains. Sometimes the saddest stories are the ones where what remains is beautiful and incomplete at the same time. Danny DeVito at 81 has things worth living for that most people will never have. He has a career still running. He has children who became real people with full lives of their own. He has grandchildren whose schedules he rearranges his evenings around. And he has the specific awareness of someone at 81 that none of this is permanent, which makes every dinner at 5 o'clock carry a weight that it would not have carried at 40. He told Fox News Digital in a recent interview that he is now more conscious of taking care of himself as he gets older, because he wants to be around for his 2 young grandchildren, Sinclair, who is 3, and Carmine, who will be 2 in July. He said he is going to stay healthy because he wants to see those 2 characters and what they do. The language he uses, wanting to see what they do, is the language of someone who understands clearly that the future is not guaranteed and that what matters is being present for as much of it as possible. All of his children live approximately 15 minutes from him, the same distance as Rhea. He told Fox News Digital that he gets to see them all the time, which is great. He described a recent evening where the whole family went to dinner and the grandchildren like to eat at 5 o'clock. So at 4:30, he was in the car, driving to meet them for a nice little dinner with Carmine. He says he usually starts working around 9 or 10 in the morning and does not mind working late. But on nights like that, he leaves early because the grandchildren are on schedules, and the schedules matter more than whatever he was doing at work. Lucy DeVito, his eldest daughter, has built a genuine acting career that has brought her back alongside her father repeatedly. They starred together on Broadway in I Need That in 2023. Rhea came to opening night. The 3 of them, father, mother, and eldest daughter, standing together at a Broadway opening night more than a decade after the second separation, is an image that captures something that no simple narrative about a marriage ending could fully contain. This is a family that reorganized itself around something more honest than what it had been, and the reorganization cost something real even as it produced something real. He and Rhea still watch plays together, still read scripts, still talk about movies and acting and the work that has been the through line of both their lives since 1970. He told Fox News Digital that they love talking about it and that they have always kept it alive with the kids, with the movie business. The relationship that was always partly a professional partnership, 2 people who understood the work and understood each other's relationship to it, continues in that form even when the romantic form is no longer available. The sad part is not that he has nothing. The sad part is that what he has is the beautiful remnant of something larger that did not fully survive, and he is 81 years old and living alone in a house 15 minutes from the woman he has loved for 55 years and calling her every day from a separate address. But even at 81, Danny has continued to shock people with his career decisions. The career that never stopped. At an age when most people are thinking about retirement, Danny DeVito is still working, still performing, still generating the kind of public presence that most actors half his age would be grateful to sustain for another decade. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has been running since 2005 and is now officially the longest-running live-action comedy series in American television history. He has been playing Frank Reynolds, one of the most gloriously depraved characters in sitcom history, for 20 years on a show that has never stopped finding new ways to shock and delight an audience that has grown and evolved alongside it. He has been performing Matilda in concert, reprising his role as Mr. Wormwood from the 1996 film he directed alongside Rhea, as a live performance event with orchestras across the world. He performed with the Cleveland Orchestra. He performed with the San Francisco Symphony on July 25th and 26th. He has an upcoming performance with the Royal Philharmonic Concert Orchestra at the Royal Albert Hall in London on October 30th. He described the experience of it with obvious pleasure, talking about the wild jacket he wears, the orange shirt, the tie, the bowler hat that belongs to the character, the way he comes out and does the thing for an audience that has been watching him do the thing for 30 years and has not gotten tired of it. The career is a genuine engagement. He is working because the work is what he has always done, and because the specific quality of what he brings to it has not diminished. Frank Reynolds is still funny. Mr. Wormwood is still finding new audiences who encounter Matilda for the first time, and then go looking for the man who played the father, and discover the 50 years of extraordinary work that came before and after it. He also described his daily schedule with a specificity that gives you a clear picture of what an ordinary day at 81 looks like when you are Danny DeVito. He starts working around 9 or 10 in the morning. He does not mind working late. On evenings when the grandchildren are eating dinner at 5 o'clock, he is in the car at 4:30. He participates in daily conversations with Rhea. He sees his children, who all live within 15 minutes. He has 2 grandchildren and another one arrived recently. The days are full. The house is quiet in the evenings. The phone calls with Rhea happen. The grandchildren eat at 5. And then he goes home alone. Rhea Perlman, speaking about her own version of the life they now lead in parallel, said something that speaks for Danny as much as it does for her. She said she lives alone with her little dog, who is her partner in life now. She said she does not like living alone, but she likes being alone. She described knowing that the separation was the right thing and finding it very difficult at first. The person she is describing as her partner in life is a dog. The person who was her partner in life for 50 years is in a separate house 15 minutes away, calling every day, coming to every family dinner, being her best friend in every way that the word means, except the one that required them to be in the same home. But what truly happened between Rhea and Danny? The 55-year love story that refused to become something simpler. The story of Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman is the most honest love story in Hollywood, precisely because it has refused to resolve into anything that could be easily categorized. It is not a success story because the marriage ended in the conventional sense. It is not a failure story because what remained after the marriage ended is genuine and warm and sustained. It is something that most of the available frameworks for talking about relationships do not have a clean word for. They separated in 2012, reconciled in 2013, and then separated again in 2017. They have not divorced. They remain legally married and talk every day. They attend each other's children's professional milestones. They appear at charity events together on the same stage. They read plays together. They talk about movies. Every version of their story that gets told in tabloid shorthand misses the texture of what it actually is, which is 2 people who have been in each other's lives since 1971 and who have found a way to continue being in each other's lives even after the romantic framework that organized the first 50 years of that connection became untenable. When Rhea was asked by Julia Louis-Dreyfus why they never divorced, her answer was specific and clear. She told the New York Post that they had been together a very long time, that there was a lot of love and history, that they agreed on enough things, and asked why they would ruin that with the yucky things that come with a divorce. The yucky things, the lawyers and the asset division, and the formal language of dissolution applied to something that has never fully dissolved. The decision not to divorce is not denial. It is a specific and considered recognition that the legal ending of the marriage would destroy something that the emotional ending of the romantic relationship had not destroyed. Danny DeVito at 81 is the product of that specific decision. He is a man who is still married to the woman he knew he was going to marry 3 minutes after he met her. He is also a man who has been living alone in a house 15 minutes from her for 8 years. Both of those things are true at the same time, and neither cancels the other. However, Rhea's dog is her partner in life now. What do you think about the life Danny DeVito has built after everything he has been through? Drop your answer in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.